So I'm going to do a video on the old Ford issue of headlights, the old flashing headlights. This is new to me. I didn't realise that it was a Ford thing, an early Ford thing. I found out the hard way. So my wife and I were going to her boss's place for dinner. It was a good drive. It was maybe 2 or 3 hours one way. So we left there at about 9, just on sundown, jumped in the car, cruising along, loving life, and then suddenly the lights, it was dark, and then the lights started to flash, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on here?
Shit.
Anyway, pulled over, turned the car off, turned the lights off, had a look around, looked at connections and fuses and all the things that you look at. Couldn't find anything wrong. So it was a bit of a stress because we were stuck on the side of the road, 2 or 3 hours away. Anyway, as it turned out, my cousin has a holiday house not far from where we broke down or where we stopped. So I called him up, or actually called her, and said, hey, we're staying the night, essentially. So anyway, we got the truck back to their place, had a look around on, under the bonnet and had a look at the lights. Couldn't find anything wrong. Anyway, did some Googling to find that it is a common problem. It is something that happens to early Fords, old Fords, Mustangs, trucks, I think a lot. That essentially, even from factory, the circuit was struggling to. I did actually read that it could be the dimmer switch because that runs on the same circuit. So I took the dimmer switch out of the red truck just to see if it was the dimmer switch, and it wasn't. It kept on flashing. So essentially after about 10 or 15 minutes, or when the lights heat up, or maybe even the light switch heats up, the light started to flash off and on. Yeah, once I put that dimmer switch in, it still did it. So what I did was went and bought a new light switch, which is right here. So I'm going to put that in, and hopefully that fixes the issue. So if anyone does have flashing lights on their old Ford, best bet is to check the dimmer switch, and failing that, the light switch. Now, like I said, if you've got other lights that you've spliced into that same circuit, then it could be that as well. And if you put H4s on, which draws more current than the original seal beams, then again, you're going to be drawing. Hopefully you can hear me. But that's been about 20 minutes sitting here idling with the lights on. No flashing. Seems to be okay. So that's me taking the old light switch out and replacing it. I reckon that's solved the issue. Good as gold. That light switch did the trick. So if you haven't done this before, or you're new to doing something like this, you basically need to take that light switch out. So you've got the dimmer, which is on the floor. Can't really see that, but that's where you put the high beam on. I did replace that with another one, because I have heard that it could be the dimmer switch. It runs on the same circuit. I replaced it with a second-hand one that I knew worked, still did it, so I then went and bought a new light switch. That's what I've replaced, the light switch, it sits in behind that knob. This is the light switch here. That's the old one, that's the one I pulled out. So essentially, there's a threaded bung right there that sits, that secures this to the steel part of the dash. And obviously the knob, which is that bit there, goes through there, and it actually clicks in. Now, in order to get it out, there's this little button here. So you'll need to reach, I'm pretty sure that's how it sits. So the little knob's on the top. You've got to reach right underneath the dash, push down on this little knob. This whole knob with that steel stem will just slide straight out that way. Once that's out, you undo the little threaded boss that sits in behind the plastic fascia here. So this plastic fascia has to come off and unplug it. Can only go one way. Put it back in, good as gold. I believe these are pretty much the same. I think Ford had a great habit of utilising a lot of parts for a lot of different vehicles. So you probably find that for a lot of different vehicles, but I'm not 100% sure, so just double check on that.